Dear students, in this lecture we will discuss concept of infinite bus bar. Before discussing this concept, recall in case of an isolated alternator, voltage depends on field excitation. If we will vary field excitation, field current, then voltage will vary. And if we will change a speed of prime mover, then frequency will vary in case of an isolated alternator. If we will increase a speed of prime mover, frequency of generated EMF increases, and with the decrease in a speed of prime mover, frequency of generated EMF decreases. We know it very well. Similarly, by increasing or decreasing field excitation, voltage magnitude increases or decreases. But in case of infinite bus bar, voltage remains constant irrespective of the field excitation, as well as frequency remains constant irrespective of the speed of the prime mover. How? We will discuss this concept today. Similarly, for an isolated alternator, power factor fully depends on the load power factor. But in case of infinite bus bar, power factor depends on excitation here. If we will change excitation, power factor will be changed. But in case of isolated alternator, by changing excitation, voltage changes, power factor fully depends on load. How? We will discuss now. In figure, you can see a large number of alternators are connected in parallel. G1, G2, generator 1, generator 2, generator 3, and so on, so that N is infinitely large, very, very large. And these are loads. Infinite bus bar connected on infinite bus bar. Fine. So we can define infinite bus bar as a group of very large number of alternators operating in parallel to form a system of constant voltage and frequency irrespective of the load current being taken from the system or fed into the system. So how this system maintains its frequency and voltage at constant values irrespective of the load current, mathematically we will see now. Before that, just take an example of two alternators connected in parallel to a common bus. Obviously, these two alternators will have same voltage magnitude as they are connected in parallel. So in per unit, let us take magnitude of induced EMF of this generator 1 as, or better, 1 per unit. E1 as 1 per unit, 1 angle 0 degree in per unit. Similarly, this also 1 angle 0 degree in per unit, obviously on same common base. And let us take synchronous impedance of this one as Z1 per unit, obviously in per unit, and this one as Z2 in per unit. So the equivalent of these two may be written as one angle 0 per unit, a single alternator having magnitude 1 per unit, and equivalent impedance of Z equivalent. Let us represent it Z equivalent obviously in per unit, where Z equivalent is given by 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2. I think you are aware with this. If not, then quickly transform this voltage source into current source. So we know that a Thevenin equivalent can be transformed into Norton's equivalent, that is having one current source in parallel with this impedance, and the magnitude of current source will be magnitude of voltage source upon this impedance. That is, we may write like this: one current source having magnitude 1 by Z1 per unit and one parallel impedance having magnitude same Z1 per unit, and this is our bus. Similarly, the another voltage source can be transformed into a current source having magnitude 1 angle 0 per unit, and this is Z2 impedance in per unit. So magnitude of this current source will be equal to magnitude of this voltage source 1 upon Z2, 1 upon Z2 in per unit, and a parallel impedance equal to Z2. So two current sources, instead of these two equivalent we may write like this: a single current source having magnitude sum of these two 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 in per unit, this magnitude plus this magnitude, and instead of two parallel impedances Z1 and Z2 we may write an equivalent impedance ZEQ like this, where Z equivalent is nothing but 1 by Z1 plus, not like that, 1 by Z equivalent is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2. We know it, right? Two parallel impedances Z1 and Z2 equivalent may be written as 1 by Z equivalent is equal to 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2. Fine. So now again transform back to voltage source. So after transforming to voltage source, we may write a single voltage source, or it's already written here. So the magnitude will be, we will multiply the magnitude of current source with the magnitude of this impedance in order to get the magnitude of this voltage source, single voltage source, equivalent voltage source, this one. And this will be, multiplication will be 1 by Z equivalent is this equal to this. So Z equivalent into this, Z equivalent into this, that is Z equivalent into this will be equal to 1, that is 1 angle 0 per unit. And this parallel resistor, not resistor, impedance will come in series like this. That's why if the magnitudes and impedances, synchronous impedances of parallel operated alternators are given, then equivalent can be written like this. Instead of 2, if 3 alternators are connected, let us say Z3 per unit, 1 angle 0 per unit. So the equivalent will be having magnitude 1 angle 0 per unit. You can verify it using the same procedure discussed for 2 parallel operated alternators, and this will be 1 by Z3. Even for 4 parallel operated alternators, we may proceed 1 by Z4. So for this system of infinite bus bar, though n is infinitely large, very large, we may write 1 by Z3 plus 1 by Z4 plus so on, like that. Got it? So if n is very large, then though these magnitudes will be in points, whatever it is, but the sum will be infinitely large, so that Z equivalent will become 0 if for n very large. That is for case of infinite bus bar, where we have connected a very large number of alternators operating in parallel, we will write this Z equivalent as 0. So whatever the value of Z equivalent is there, if we will represent the magnitude of induced EMF of each alternator by E, or better to say equivalent alternator, whatever it is there, equivalent alternator, that is a equivalent circuit, induced EMF of a single alternator which is equivalent of this system, parallel connected alternators E, and the magnitude of this bus bar, infinite bus bar, this is infinite bus bar, right? So that is represented by this vertical line. V, all in per unit, Z equivalent is also in per unit. So if total load currents will be represented by, let us take I, all are phasors. So we may write E minus, these are phasors, right? E minus I Z equivalent is equal to V phasor. Fine. I am writing here E phasor minus I phasor Z equivalent phasor will be equal to bus voltage magnitude, this V phasor. For this system, Z equivalent is equal to 0, this is equal to 0. It means we may write E is equal to V phasor. That is, the bus voltage is independent of load current. Whatever the value of load current will be there, total load on the system, whether positive or negative, it will not affect V. That is, V becomes independent of this load current I. Whether I is positive or negative, if load current is positive, it means load current is being drawn from the system. By anyhow, if load current is negative, it means load current is being fed into the system, current fed into the system. Whatever the sign of load current is there, that will not affect V. From this mathematical equation we can conclude it. That's why, and this happened because of this Z equivalent, which is 0, and this happened because N is infinitely large. So this will happen only when the number of alternators operating in parallel is very, very large, infinitely large. So we discussed how voltage remains constant in case of infinite bus bar. Now come to the second point, how frequency remains constant in case of infinite bus bar. For that, if we will write equivalent moment of inertia of this system, J is moment of inertia, we may write J1 plus J2 plus J3 and so on plus Jn, where n is infinitely large, and Ji, that is J1 is moment of inertia of generator 1, J2 is moment of inertia of generator 2, and so on. Jn is moment of inertia of generator n. So as n is infinitely large, so this will also be infinitely large. The contribution of all moment of inertia will give you a value, equivalent inertia of the system, as infinity. So what about angular acceleration? We know the relation angular acceleration, or better write equivalent angular acceleration, torque, is equal to equivalent moment of inertia times alpha, where alpha is angular acceleration of the equivalent circuit of the network shown earlier, which is equivalent, that is Z equivalent is here, this is V phasor, this is E phasor. Fine. So from here, angular acceleration alpha will be torque, whatever the value of torque is there, J equivalent will bring it to 0, this alpha. This J equivalent will bring this alpha to 0, as for this system, J equivalent moment of inertia of the system becomes infinitely large. So infinity here, it means angular acceleration is 0. And angular acceleration is nothing but rate of change of angular speed. It means angular speed, let us represent omega, is constant. Hence, frequency remains constant. Frequency of this equivalent network, that is this equivalent network of this infinite bus bar, that is frequency of this infinite bus bar remains constant. So this way we can conclude that for this system of very large alternators operating in parallel, will have constant voltage and frequency irrespective of the amount of load current being taken from the system or supplied into the system. Thank you very much.